I didn't even know that people could give birth at home. I didn't know that. So I felt like that was even better too because, like I said, I was thinking about the driving, like during labor for 45 minutes, which I think I've heard some people say they've done and it wasn't so bad. But for me, I was like, I just remember the ride to the ER with my first and that being extremely uncomfortable.
Hello, and welcome to Healing Trauma Mamas. I'm your host, Madon Wingo. Thank you for joining us as we share in our stories and experiences of healing from childhood traumas and birth traumas. Listen as we discuss our struggles, our failures, our strengths, and our victories, and all those lessons we've learned along the way. Why, hello, Healing Trauma Mamas. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so glad you decided to join us today. We get to share another amazing mom's journey today on the podcast, and I'm excited for you to get to hear. And I know you're going to learn some things today. I just feel like every time that we get to listen to another mom's journey, then we learn something. And every time I get an opportunity to sit down and talk with another mom and record for the podcast, it blesses my heart so much to just hear more about their journey. Even ones that I'm already involved with some, I'll learn so many more new things. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I think in this realm of needing to be connected and in community with other women. Like, it's so great for us to share our journeys and to encourage one another. And that's what we're here to do. And so, with that being said, I want to welcome Miriam to the podcast. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Do
excited.
you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Miriam. I am 24 years old. I am a mom of two. I have a daughter who's 4 and a son who is almost 3 months.
Yay. It's awesome. And you're from Texas, or you live in Texas, so that's nice. You're not too far. It's so cool because in the podcast world, we can do from anywhere, and it's so neat because we've had people on the podcast that, um, as far as Greece and all over the United States, and we even did one in Canada, and so I think it's really neat when we can do that, and then we have local ones, and I'm so glad because you're more local and get to come on and share.
Yes, me too. I'm excited.
So let's just kind of jump in. What I like to do is just talk to each mom about, like, let's start from the beginning for you and wherever you want that place to be. Like, for me, when I talk more about my journey, I mean, I started from my birth and even pre-birth a little bit actually, and stuff going on with me, but I would love for you to share. You can share for when you were young and your ideas about womanhood, or what you thought about, as you're growing up and having children, or whatever place you would like to start.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and start back when I very first got pregnant ever. So I was really young. I was 19 years old and I think I had been with her dad for I think a year. And yeah, I got pregnant. And I had just I remember lost my job, which I kind of felt it was perfect timing because I got to just focus on the pregnancy, which I liked because it was my first pregnancy and I was kind of learning as I went. Yeah, I don't think I seen a doctor till I was 26 weeks because I was trying to get Medicaid and they didn't accept me right away for some reason, and I don't remember why. But as soon as they did accept me, though, I was going through, I was following advice too from family, and I went ahead and I did it uh, I wouldn't wanna say the normal way, but the way most people do. So I went through the hospital and just kinda flowed with that, except I feel like for me personally, they didn't really inform me as much as I wanted to be informed throughout the process, which is fine, but I was trying to learn as I was going. So at some point, I feel like that pregnancy went fast. So at some point, I do remember just not really knowing what to expect. And, I didn't know when my water had broke when I actually went into labor with my daughter. And so I was just at home for a good majority of my laboring time. I think actually until I was in active labor did I actually get into the car and leave to the hospital, and that was because my mom forced me to. She was like, "We're not having the baby here. I don't know how to deliver a baby. You're going to the hospital. We're going right now." And so, yeah, put me in the car. We went to the hospital. I actually had her sign the papers for me because I was not trying to sign my name or anything. It was just from all the contractions, and I wasn't even trying to talk to anybody. I was like, "Please, just get me in a room. I'm ready." And so by the time I actually got into the room, which didn't take long, but by the time we did, I feel like everything just went so fast with her birth. But it actually, I got there at the hospital 10 o'clock. And I think by the time she was born, it was about 3 it says 3:17 on her birth certificate, but I have a picture of her just slightly before then, so, like, around 3 in the morning, around 3 something. But, yeah, with that birth, I do remember, kind of feeling a little restricted in the hospital, like, when I needed to use the restroom, I couldn't go to the restroom. I remember feeling kind of dehydrated, and I didn't pack any water, I should've. Um, and also, I do feel like felt a little rushed by the doctor, like, he wasn't there, immediately, he was on call, and so whenever I was, like I think I was dilated to a 9 or an 8, they gave me, like, a little peanut ball to, like, put my legs in between my legs, like, and lay on my side a little, and after they did that, it wasn't even 20 minutes later that I was like, "Nope," pulled the peanut ball out from my legs, and I was like, "She's coming. I can tell. I can feel her. Like, she's right there." And so pressed the button for the nurses to come in, and they came in, and they're like, "Oh, well, you have to wait for the doctor. Like, please wait." And close my legs because I had them open. I could choose right there. I could feel her head. I remember feeling like the hairs of her head right there at the entrance. And, yeah, they kept my legs closed. They're like, "Don't open them, she's going to come." I'm like, "That's the point. I'm ready. Like, can we give birth? Can you deliver a baby?" And they were like, "Yes, we can, but, we're not really recommended to," or something along those lines. Anyways, it felt like, 30 minutes, but it was definitely not that long, but it felt like 30 minutes that I was waiting for him to come. Um, by the time that she did come, or he did come, he was a doctor, he was a boy, he was a man, and I just remember he pulled her out and, like, had her by both feet, and, like, for the fluid to come out, which made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I don't understand the doctor process, like, he knows what he's doing. But, yeah, I remember he had her by both her feet and, like, fluid coming out of her lungs, and he just went ahead and just, like, snipped the umbilical cord without talking to us or asking if my husband even wanted to cut it or any of that. We wanted to wait. And it all just that one, it just went fast, and I kinda remember, like, I don't think I was that present in that birth. I wasn't medicated, I didn't have any epidural with that labor either, but I just remember feeling very, like, out of body experience. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't think
Mm.
I was fully there. I
Do you
was
feel like
just,
you
like,
disassociated a little bit?
disassociated, that's the word I'm looking for,
Yeah,
yes. I think I did because
yeah,
even just the whole beginning, I don't really remember much of it. I just remember down to right when she was there,
yeah.
or a little before it, actually.
Were
Um
there other things going on in your life that and maybe past things that might have had you kinda disassociate a little bit, do you think? Or do you just feel like a little out of I don't wanna say out of control necessarily, but basically, like, yes, you weren't in control of what was going on. Other people were in control
Yes.
around you, and that can definitely make you disassociate as well.
Yeah, I do feel like I was just a little uncomfortable in the environment. I think it's just because it was, like, white room. It felt very like mystical. Not really, that's not a good word for it, but it just felt very hazy and like weird for me
Yeah.
personally. And this time around, I got pregnant. I believe I was already 24. No, I was 23. And my husband, he had just lost his job. So this time it was a little opposite. I didn't get to really I had to get a job because he was in the middle of looking for a job. So I just found out I was pregnant and then had to go and find a job, and one that I could that would work with my schedule of being pregnant. And I just didn't want to be around too many chemicals or anything because I knew I was going to be carrying a baby. And at first, I knew I wanted to give birth not in a hospital this time. Nothing against hospitals. I didn't feel comfortable there the first time around. I wanted to experience something different. And so I was looking into birthing houses or like midwives, and I just clicked on really the first thing I found, which was a birth house in Midland. It was located in Midland, which is like 45 minutes away from me where I live. I felt like that wouldn't be too bad. I was nervous about the drive, like during labor, like how that was gonna go, but I was just like, trusting the process. We'll just, it'll happen how it's supposed to happen. Trying not to be so hostile. I was trying to be open to things, suggestions. And I remember that at the time, my paychecks were nowhere near, especially because I did pick like a restaurant based place just to not be around so many chemicals and stuff. So my paychecks were not that high. They were very low. And I was working, I think like 2 months before he had a job and had a decent paycheck coming in. So I did that for a few months, and I think
That's
I
a
was
hard spot
about.
to be to find out you're pregnant and then your husband loses his job, and then you're trying to figure out what to do. That actually happened to me with my 5th. It was
Yeah?
the week after we found out we were pregnant. We were so excited. My husband got laid off. And we were like,
Yes.
hold on a second. Like, what are we
Yeah.
going to do? Like, this is not what we were planning. This is not what we were thinking was going to happen at all. So it definitely
Yes.
kind of throws you for a loop because you're so excited about the baby and all of that. And then you're like, financially, how are we going to make this happen? Like,
Yes, it was very
and
stressful,
yeah,
honest.
and then especially with a desire to have a home birth or the desire to have a midwifery
Mm.
care, Medicaid or insurance does not usually come into play with midwives for out of hospital birth, and so that's another factor. And I remember that being a factor for us as well. Like, how are we going to pay for the midwife? Like, what are we going to do to be able to take care of that? And it took him a long time before. I think it was almost 6 months before he was, able to find steady work and
Mm.
not delivery driver for Pizza Hut or something like that, but more steady income.
Yes, it does. It takes a minute, honestly, just looking for work. And then yes, I did know. And I knew just very deep inside that I just did not want to do it at the hospital. I know some of my family members even were probably thinking like she's crazy, like just do it at the
Mhm.
hospital. You're making more trouble for
Yep.
yourself. But deep inside it didn't feel like that's actually what I wanted to it's not how I wanted to do it this time. So I really don't remember the timing of when he found a job, but it had to be like a couple months. I think I was going through this birthing house for a little minute, but financially they wanted me to have things paid like all up front, and it was about 5,000, but I just felt like that was a lot to come up with all at once. And I honestly was stressing very badly about it during my pregnancy, which I did not want to be worrying about just because I know that what you feel while you're pregnant transfers, or also that your baby feels that with you. And I didn't want to give my baby stress or I just didn't want that. So I actually decided to keep looking and not just settle on to the first thing that I seen and go with that, even though I was already a patient with that place, the birthing house. So I went to Google and I was looking for midwives and I messaged a few. Only one messaged me back and she could not do it, I remember. So she gave me a list of names for other people. And out of that list, and because also at this point I had to be like, I think I was 6 or 7 months pregnant, I think. And so that's whenever you come into the picture because you're the only lady who answered my texts. So and I felt like it was very perfect too. Like it just all really did fall into place as it was supposed to because even when I spoke with you, I felt like instant relief. Like I was holding so much stress in my body too, which is so sad to say, but I really was. And when after speaking on the phone with you and even meeting you, it was like, oh, this feels right. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It shouldn't feel so stressful or so forced. It should just be like this. Like everything's falling into place. It's fine. And so, yeah, after speaking with you, I became your patient. Patient? Is that the right client? I became your client.
We say
Same.
client.
So, and yeah, and then I didn't even know that people could give birth at home. I didn't know that. So I felt like that was even better too because like I said, I was thinking about the driving like during labor for 45 minutes, which is I think heard some people say they've done and it wasn't so bad, but for me I was like I just remember the ride to the ER with my first and that being extremely uncomfortable. So,
Yeah.
I was in active labor too though, but still, for me. So, after becoming your client, we started doing appointments here at the house and, planning out where we're gonna have the baby, like which rooms.
I was just thinking about I think it's an interesting statement that you didn't even know it was an option to have a baby at home. Because isn't it just that's to me, that's a statement about our society.
Yeah,
Like, as a young woman in the United States, you didn't know it was an option to have a baby at home, like a natural place that, prior to the last 100 years, that's where women had babies at home all the time, like for
yeah,
thousands of years. But because our society and the way that we have changed how our wording and framing around birth that it has just it disappeared from our culture. Like, didn't even know that was an option, and I'm sure you hadn't known anybody that had a home birth ever. So it's kinda wild that you didn't know that was an option whatsoever.
yeah, I agree with that because, I was actually even reading a few books just about giving birth outside of the hospital. It was called Sacred Birth. That was one of the books I remember, and that was a point she made in a chapter of that book as well, that just as a society, kinda that we've I don't wanna say, like, taken that privilege away, but yeah, pretty much that's what she was coming from. And I do think that that is actually very crazy because and I'm just kinda jumping around, but after I went through it myself, I really do find it more comforting and normal. I feel like it didn't feel weird to not be in a hospital. I actually feel the opposite, that I felt more weird and out of place in a hospital than the comfort of my own home. But yeah, like to get back to
Yeah.
the story part, I'm like, I remember that I was just up at 4 in the morning and I don't know why. Like my body just I was just awake. I didn't have to pee or anything. I was just awake and I remember laying there and trying to go back to sleep and then just suddenly just like a big gush of water just like coming out of me and I'm like, did I just pee on myself? Like no way. And I get up and I go to the restroom because I swear that's what happened because with my first, I did not experience I don't know when my water broke with my first kid. Like, I have no idea. So the second time around, it just happened. No contractions or anything. And I remember going and changing my pants because I'm like, did I really just pee on myself? And nope, sure enough, I did not because as soon as I changed my pants, it was just wet all over again. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get a towel and lay down for a little bit because I didn't know what to do, honestly. I still was kind of I think I was just a little bit in shock, like, whoa, it's happening, it's happening now? Like, really? Because I was only
Yeah, and you weren't
37
40
weeks.
weeks yet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was only 37 weeks. So I was just like, wow, this is kind of early. Earlier than I expected. So I waited for my husband to wake up because I just couldn't sleep after that. And when he did wake up, he's like, "Should we go to work?" I was like, "I don't know, honestly, because I'm not having contractions and like, it just doesn't feel the same as like, it doesn't feel like he's coming yet or anything. So, the next person that I called was my mom because she was coming all the way down from Wimberley, Texas to watch my oldest while I was doing the labor. Just so if she needed anything, she could go, get her snacks or help her with whatever she needs help with. So I called her because she had to make a long drive. It's like 4 hours from where I live. And she was like, "Oh my gosh," and she started packing up her stuff and yeah, she's on the road, I think within an hour or so. But after I called her, I called you right after, or I think I texted you because I wasn't sure if you're awake yet, and I didn't wanna wake you up. I don't know, that sounds crazy, but I didn't wanna wake you up.
It happens all the time, even though when you're in, like, labor and all the things and water broke, women do that all the time, like, "Oh, I don't wanna interrupt my midwife sleeping."
Yeah.
Oh.
But, you were already awake. You were like, "Oh, I was already in the car. I was about to go do my appointments for the day," and you canceled, and you came straight this way, and, pretty much we're just like, "Okay, so just relax, enjoy your day." I'll come in through periodically and check on you, and, yeah, it was just very different this time around because I was not getting contractions, like, all day, I didn't feel any contractions, and it just felt kinda different that I was just able to roam around my house and eat as I pleased, and, it's just a little different. I'm like, "Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now?" But,
How long
yeah.
was the drive for your mom?
How was the drive for her?
How long was it?
It was like I think it was 4 hours. It was 4 hours and 30 minutes,
'Kay.
and she made it pretty fast. I feel like, she got there around 12 o'clock, and I still hadn't gotten any contractions. I think around 4 o'clock is whenever they started, but they weren't intense or anything. They were just I could feel them at that point. So around 4 o'clock, I still didn't feel it wasn't intense, I could just feel them. And I think at that point, I was just trying to move around because I feel like and I don't know this for a fact, but I just feel like, moving around helps with speeding up the contractions. I really don't know if that's accurate. That was just my,
Well, definitely movement
instinct.
can help progress labor. Yeah, and
Yeah, it
yeah,
can.
it's your instinct, and that's what you were listening to.
Yes, exactly. So I was in my living room, like, rolling on the little yoga ball, and I was doing squats. I remember doing squats off and on, and just doing different movements, but I believe it was around 10 o'clock. They still were not that intense. It pretty much stayed like that, like, all night. Everybody fell asleep, which I was getting tired too, so I was playing music, and I remember everyone was asleep, and I was like, "I'm getting tired. I need to rest too because I know at some point I'm gonna need my energy." So, I just put on some nice, like, frequency vibration music just to relax myself, and, occasionally, there was, like, mantras, coming on too, but I went and I laid in my room and I was asleep, and I believe I felt a contraction, like a very intense one in my sleep, and I don't know if you were already awake or if I woke you up, but, because I wasn't even fully aware of that one. I know I had it, like, and I remember it, but what kind of brought it to my attention really was you coming in being like, "Hey, I heard you were like, I heard your contraction, like, are you okay?" Just checking in on me. And I was like, "Whoa," like, kind of fully woke up and I was like, "Yep, that is what that was." And, at that point, it was about 4 in the morning, and I think that we decided to wait because I wanted a water birth. So wait, like, an hour before filling up the tub and getting all that set up. Well, not set up because it was already set up, but, you know, just getting that ready for me to be in, and, so I just sat through my contractions by myself, for that hour, and because I also felt like my husband was gonna need some rest, I was like, "Okay, just let
Yes.
him rest for another hour, then I'll wake him up." And, so yeah, sat with myself, just, like, focusing on breathing and just staying easy, and when that hour came up, I went and I woke him up. He's a heavy sleeper, so it took me a little minute to
Yes,
actually
I'm aware.
yeah, get him
Uh,
coherent, and, when he finally was up, he was very helpful. He was letting me lean on him and, helping with my breathing and holding me, which was very helpful. I also like that I got to do that with him because in the hospital, he was still very helpful with Azare's birth, my oldest, but like, he couldn't really hold me because I was, like, kinda stuck in bed. I don't know if I could move, I just felt like I couldn't move at the hospital. But to be fair, I didn't use it. I just felt like I couldn't.
yeah.
Um, so with this time around, I liked it more because he could actually hold me and sit in the bed with me, and Azare, my oldest, she was already asleep, so my mom, I don't know when she woke up, but I feel like it was kinda soon after, like, around the same time that my husband did, and she was like, rubbing my back while he was holding me, and that was very soothing. I really appreciated that because it really helped. Both of them helped me, and so finally, I remember getting in the pool, which I don't know if it's called the pool, but I got in it,
Yeah, we
and
call it birth tub or the birth
a
pool.
birth tub. Okay, got it. So I got into the birth tub, and, I liked the water. I did. I really liked the water. It kinda helped with not feeling so heavy, and it soothed the contractions a little. But I do think that for me personally, I think I wanted more personal touch, like, with my husband, and I know he didn't wanna get in that birth tub. But, I just remember kinda leaning over the wall of it and leaning onto him. I don't know if that makes sense, but I
Yes,
I
yeah.
was doing that. My mom was rubbing my back, still, like, reaching over the little wall and rubbing my back, and I was just trying to breathe, just to focus on my breathing and my breath. I think in the water and not that I was well, I wanna say not that I was scared, but I do feel like maybe I was a little frightened, like, I wasn't fully relaxing either in
Yeah.
the water, maybe. Because also I remember you telling me that it's normal because he was, like, coming like, I don't know, like, pulsing, like, coming out, but then going back in,
Kinda
and I
rocking
remember
rocking down and then back up.
yes, yeah, and I
Yes.
remember you saying that that's normal, like, that's just, like, his head kind of stretching the area a little just so he can fit. So I don't know if it was completely, like, me not being relaxed or just the normal process of labor. Maybe both, honestly. But at some point, I remember you saying, "Okay, there's a lot of blood," or "There's more blood than normal," something along those lines, and you're like, "So let's move over to the bed," and I had been in the birthing tub for a few hours, and so I got up, moved to the bed, and, um,
You
I
also seemed like you weren't as comfortable in the bath
yeah, I don't
as you would want to be. You seemed a little disconnected, um,
yeah,
and, like, you definitely needed more connection,
yes.
and I know your mom and your husband were both, touching you, and trying, but it is interesting. So, if you look at one of the pictures that I took, it's like you're trying to reach out of the tub,
Yeah.
around, and like you weren't necessarily like sinking down into the tub and like relaxing into it. You were more reaching out of it.
Yes, I agree. That's what I had noticed after too, because during, I don't think I was really focusing on my body language like that, which I should have
Mhm.
been, and not criticizing myself, but should have been a little more in tune with my body, like listening to that. But it's okay. It still turned out beautiful.
No, you did great. Well, and that's part of the reason why you hire somebody, come along and kind of see that and be like, "Hey, let's maybe change positions. Let's get you out of the tub."
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yes. And I'm very grateful that you did point that out because I was a lot more comfortable in my bed. So, yeah, I do remember at that point, Azri woke up and Dario, which is my husband, went to put on some like a cartoon for her to watch, just, just to keep her occupied. And I think my mom switched spots with him so that he could come sit with me, and we had him, like, sit behind me, and I reclined into him, which was very comforting. I actually really did prefer that position. Um, it was a lot more comforting, and,
There's a lot of closeness and connection with that position too. So
yes.
there's a lot of, you and your husband just being able to he's able to embrace you fully and help you through those contractions and pushing. And I feel like that's just, I don't know, it's a great position for just you guys being very connected during that process.
Yes, I love it. Yes, that was beautiful. It was I wouldn't have done it any other way, honestly. Um
Hmm.
And I think actually him being right there behind me helped me release and like relax a little bit, like my body, because as soon, well, maybe not as soon. I think maybe it took a few more, maybe 2 or 3 more contractions before my son actually came through the portal, came through the other side. Like his head came through, and I really do think it was only 3 more contractions. Do you
I don't
remember?
think it was long. I don't
It was
remember, but it definitely was not long.
no,
And that's when we had kind of joked before that maybe the baby was waiting for the sunrise. And especially with the way you were in the tub and you I think you even said the kind about, "Well, maybe," and it was really interesting when you got in on the bed and then you were very doing a really good job pushing that we were just like, "Oh my goodness, he is gonna be right at sunrise."
yes, I think it was so cool because I think it was my mom, like, she is the one who predicted the exact time too. So, yeah, that was very cool that as soon as
It
he
was
was
really
born,
neat.
it was the exact time that my mom had said. And then I remember you were like, "Somebody go take a picture of the sunrise." And I believe it was my mom too, because at that point I was
Yep,
just
she ran out there.
yeah, yes.
Yeah,
And
it was
I
awesome.
do.
So I was like, "You want this."
Yes. So beautiful. Such a beautiful moment. And I find it so cool. Actually, that moment made me look into the position because I already knew the position of the moon and the stars. That that moment, I think it was like the harvest moon was that night.
Yes.
Yes. So I thought that was so cool. He was born on like I mean it was the sunrise, but that point and does that make sense?
Yeah, it was really neat. Yeah.
Yes. So I looked into my daughter's because I was like, I wonder what the sky looked like for her. And she was born on a full moon, which I just think that is so cool. Wait, not a full moon, a
Aw.
new moon.
A new
But
moon. Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So I thought that was very cool. Kind of irrelevant a little, but I just wanted to mention that I think that is so cool that they were born on kind of like opposite moon phases. But
That is neat.
yeah. Also, with my son, I remember being way more present. Like, I do remember every moment with him, like, even during the labor, like, the whole process of it that whole day. Because with Azare, I remember feeling so, like, hazy afterwards, like dreamlike, like a dream state, and just kind of being like, whoa, this is real life right now, which I don't know if that's normal, really. But, And with him, I did kind of feel like that too, but not in the same way. In a way that was like, "Wow, you were just in my stomach and now you're here," like, kind of way, but very aware at the same time, like, aware of everything that just happened and actually felt, like, really, really empowering because I was like, "Whoa, I just did that." Like, did it at my house. I did it comfortable, like, just it was completely different, and I don't even know if I can really explain the way that it made me feel in words. I don't know. But
Aw.
it was a beautiful experience, and I'm very glad that I got to experience both ways and know the difference of both, and yeah, I don't think I would ever personally, I don't think I would ever go to a hospital to give birth again if I ever
Aw. That's
did.
so neat. How do you think that it's transformed you? You're such a beautiful natural mother. Do you think having him at home has kinda transformed your mothering at all?
Um, I just feel like maybe, and I don't know if this has anything to do with the birth, but I kind of feel like I'm more aware and more patient,
Mm,
honestly, because I just feel like having to split my attention between not just one other person, but well, I mean, aside from my husband and myself, one other person, like I have to do it between two now, which
yeah.
kind of makes me be like I have to be more aware of just what I'm doing and who I'm paying attention to and like my time between them and just things of that sort. I don't know if that really has to do with mother like giving birth at home, but
Or just maybe a change in motherhood.
yeah. You know what, though? I would say maybe my comfort, though, because I do remember having like extreme anxiety after giving birth with my oldest. Like I had extreme anxiety, I was very anxious. And with him, I don't feel as anxious. I feel more calm. And yeah, honestly, I would say, yeah,
Just maybe more
he,
at peace.
yes, more at peace. Um, I think with just the idea, just with my anxiety, period. 'Cause, yeah, I do believe I was way more anxious with her and a lot more, yes, calm this time around.
Awesome. I love it
Yeah.
for you. I know it can be stressful trying to record a podcast episode and try to take care of 2 little ones at the same time, but
Yes.
you've done an excellent job.
Hey, thank you. I'm, like, trying to stay patient right now.
You're
But
doing a good job, and you did such a great job of, like, advocating for yourself and finding I would say what you didn't even know you needed at the time, that you just were trying to find something different, and then you happened to find something that you actually really needed, and you just didn't know it, and you got to step into that, and it was on my side, it was just so beautiful to see, because you're very in tune with your body and, very in tune with your children, and it was neat to see you in birth do that as well.
yes, thank you. I actually do think that each birth and well, for me, I don't know if other women feel that way, but with for each birth, like learn something different about myself too. Like maybe with this one, well, not maybe. I feel like maybe I felt like I needed to be in more control when really I didn't need to be in control at all. Like I just needed to be just relaxed and just kind of let life happen. I don't know if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
regardless, he was gonna come. So
Mm, and he did such a beautiful job.
yes, thank you so
Um,
much.
any words that you would like to pass on to, any moms listening?
Just relax and listen to your body. Enjoy the moment, honestly. I feel like being present helps a lot. Is it
I
just
love that.
laboring moms? Like laboring or just moms, period, throughout
Moms
the
in
whole
general,
okay.
whoever happens to be listening,
Well, I would still say presence because I think that is the best gift that we could give not only ourselves, but our kids too, our our presence.
that's great. Well, and even learning to be present with yourself is such a gift to show them how to be able to do that.
Yeah,
and be, fully in the moment.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Miriam. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Good. Thank you for listening. May you be encouraged and strengthened by what you've heard today. Remember, you are dearly loved by your Creator, so be who He created you to be. May you go in peace, friends. Till next time, Shalom.